If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home, when I'm home.
What's up, y'all? Thanks for stopping by. My name is Serge T, and this video I'm going to be talking about NXT UK for the date of July the 1st, 2021, and I'm going to give my recap and thoughts on the show itself. It started off with Isla Dawn versus Amelia McKenzie, and I've seen Isla Dawn a bunch of times, Amelia McKenzie maybe once before, and in this match she really did what she needed to do, going up against a somewhat of a UK veteran in Isla Dawn. She's been there, I believe, since day one. If not, she's been here quite a while in NXT UK. And Isla Dawn was doing a lot of Wiccan stuff, a lot of witch stuff. You know, she was constantly trying to conjure up something. I don't know what she was doing. There was one point where she had Mackenzie on her back, and then she's putting her hand on her face, and then she's doing some stuff. And all I kept thinking was that if you're not going to do anything that pays off, why do you keep doing that? She's just wasting her time. She's giving Mackenzie enough time to recover, and then she ends up hitting her with a Shining Wizard, looked like a Shining Wizard type move, and she pins Isla Dawn. And then Isla Dawn's in the corner, still acting like she won. Maybe she, like, according to one of the commentators, I still don't get his name down, but I know Nigel against the other one. But the other one goes, she probably got something out of this match, like, I don't know, she like Shang Tsung, who from Mortal Kombat, who absorbs people's aura or souls or whatever. I don't know what she was doing, but I guess this is her way of making her character more interesting. Being a heel now, but before she was a babyface. I think she's better as a heel, but I don't know where she's going with this, because nothing happened when she was trying to conjure up something. You'd think that there'd be some smoke or something happen. But I don't know if the WWE is getting behind her. Maybe they just say, okay, whatever character you want, okay, whatever, but we're not going to back you. I don't know. But that's that. And then we had a friendly competition that continues between Gallus members Wolfgang and Mark Coffey. Mark Coffey says, I got one more thing to do. He runs off, being goofy and everything. And then Wolfgang's like, there he goes. Hey, look at him go. Look at him go. Look at his movement. He's kind of being weird. And he turns the corner, goes inside one of the corridors there. And I'll talk about later on what he actually did, which is pretty funny. Now, the Heritage Cup Championship, and I'm looking at the Heritage Cup Championship, and I'm thinking, it's at a point now where I think that maybe they should make a belt for it. That trophy could be put in the NXT UK museum, whatever, put it there with the other Hall of Championships kind of thing. And then I'm have a belt, because it looks awkward when he's carrying the cup around. I'm thinking that usually is a visual when someone wins the tournament, not carrying a cup around, carrying a trophy. Like, it looks kind of weird, looks kind of awkward. It looks kind of like I don't know, but Tyler Bate is the defending champ, and he actually gave Jack Stars a shot because he likes what he sees as Jack Stars. And we all know what the rules are. We know how it goes. First person to 2 falls. There's a series, I believe it was 5 rounds and then 1 sudden death. It's been a while since I've looked at the rules, because I've just been enjoying the matches, But let's go through it. The first round, there's no falls. No falls for the match. And then we go to a second round, and Tyler Bate pins Stars. He pretty much just sits back and pins him that way. Picks up the first pin, the first fall. And then the third round, we see Stars reverse a Magistral Cradle, and he pins Tyler Bate. That's an upset that he was able to pin him, because Tyler Bate is definitely one of the most polished, more physical, more well-rounded competitors. Former first ever NXT UK champion, former tag team champion in NXT with Trent Seven. Trent Seven was with him, accompanying him to the ring. And after that, we go to the. He does that in the third round, and the Stars evens it up 1-1. In the fourth round, and after some real physical, this match, I tell you, it was a very, very physical match. A very, well, it was just amazing all around, especially with Stars. Jack Stars is one of these guys who's a small dude, but the guy has a lot of heart, a lot of fight, and a definite match, a good match for Tyler Bate. But in the end, Tyler Bate, in the fourth round, he puts away Stars with the Tyler Driver 97, and Bate retains to remain your Heritage Cup champion. And then Mark Coffey comes out, and I guess this is what he meant. Has something left to do, and he goes in the ring, and he's acting like he's very, very excited and happy for Tyler Bate. Puts his hand out and everything, and then he just pops someone, and then he just falls on his back, rolls out of the ring, and he starts laughing. They're pointing at each other, and then Trent Seven and Tyler Bate are going, okay, we got it. We know what you guys are doing. We know what you want. And is it going to be is that after that cheap shot? Did he actually challenge Tyler Bate for that Heritage Cup? It'll be the first time that I see somebody who's a big guy going after it. You've seen pretty much the guys who look like cruiserweights competing for it. Makes for a more athletic match. Makes more for a very, very high impact type of a match. A lot of offense. But Mark Coffey, if he is going to get the thing, if he's going to be the challenger, he's going to definitely give Tyler Bate quite a match. Because Tyler Bate, when he competed against Walter, he's a strong guy. He can go up against guys like Walter, but Walter would definitely physically he's physically imposing, and he defended his title against Tyler Bate recently. Was that last year, or I forget when, but it was during the time that I was away from watching NXT UK that he challenged him again. I forget when, but that's that. And we have with Pretty Deadly. They're backstage. Sid Scala goes, so next week you guys are going to be defending your tag team titles against Subculture. And they're like, no. And then Lewis Howley was like, no, not Subculture. No, they got to earn it. And I agree. I was like, I agree. I'm like going, yes. Instead of just giving these guys title shots. And so what happens is the next week, it was supposed to be a tag team title match, but I guess this is when this match with Lewis Howley, and he'll be challenged by Mark Andrews, and if Mark Andrews beats him, then he and Flash Morgan Webster will get a title shot for the NXT tag team titles, and that'll be a great match. Those two, of course, are former champions, and I believe they lost to Gallus, and then Gallus lost to Pretty Deadly. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, Meiko Satomura, she addresses the NXT universe, and then Nina Samuels crashes the party and congratulates the champ. Let's see where this goes, right? That's what I was thinking. Let's see where this goes. And it goes with an arrogant claim for Samuels. That Satomura needs her to establish a dominant reign. A megastar like Samuels is needed to put her on the map. Not really. And then Amel comes in and blindsides Samuels and attacks her. She goes into the ring and pretty much says, I'm tired of all the same people always going after the title, always getting the title shots. She says, you're the final boss when I don't play games. And then Meiko Satomura, in like the most clearest that she can be, goes, enough talking. You get the match. What I like about her is she has a really good grasp of English, more better than Io and Asuka and even Kairi Sane. They could hold their own, pretty much speak a little bit of English, but she definitely doesn't have no problem with her words. Sometimes you see the others and they try, and they're trying their hardest, but it's like more practice, I guess. because pretty much their actions speak louder than words, kind of a thing. But Meiko Satomura, she really does have a very powerful voice, a very like it's booming. When she said, "Enough talking," you get the match. I'm like, damn, and she says that, the final boss does, and Mel, it's funny because before that, she's talking, right, and saying the thing like, oh, enough, it's like, you're the final boss, but, I don't play games, and then she just knocks her down with a stiff right cross, and drops her, and then that's where she says, enough talking, you get the match, and then Amel's in the corner on her butt, and then she's smiling, and I don't know if they made it official yet, but she dropped the French superstar, and pretty much letting her know that, hey, you want it, you got it, and she pretty much took a punch from the final boss. So I love Meiko Satomura. I've loved her since day one when I saw her. She was in the Mae Young Classic, so it's like, we'll see, man, what happens. It's not gonna be one of those those matches that's gonna be like like with that she did with Kaylee Ray. It's gonna be a different type of match. So let's see how Amel brings it and takes it to the final boss. Let's see what happens. Now, Blair Davenport was let's go before we go to that. Let's talk about situation that happened after the match last week, the triple threat between Ilya Dragunov, Rampage Brown, and Joe Coffey. Rampage Brown is sitting there licking his wounds, and then in comes Joe Coffey. He's licking his wounds. He sits right next to Rampage Brown in the back area there, the locker room, I guess it was. And he pretty much says, that settled nothing. You're like, that settled nothing. And they both just laugh at each other, and Joe Coffey, puts his hand on Rampage Brown's shoulder and just walks off. And then you see Rampage Brown's like this, kind of like still adjusting his jaw, Cause they're taking some jaw shattering, jaw rattling type of kicks and punches and elbows, whatever you want to call them, whatever they threw at each other. It's a great match, Now, Ilya Dragunov, speaking of him, it showed what happened to him last week when he won the match, and he got attacked by the champ, Walter. So I don't know if that match is going to happen. If you're going to see Dragunov and Walter too, that'll be a great match, because everybody was talking about that match. He had a video on WWE.com where Shawn Michaels and Drew McIntyre and all these guys were looking at the match, and they're just thinking, this match is probably the best match ever, and it was, man. If anybody's going to beat Walter, it could be Ilya Dragunov. That would be probably a great way to kind of cap his title reign and give it to somebody else, give the title to somebody else. He's been 700 plus days now, I guess, right around that, right? More than that now, as a champion. Now, speaking of Blair Davenport, I kind of skipped, over. Blair Davenport has arrived, and she's new to me, but I'm intrigued. She's all talking about how, pretty much been all over the world. And does she even think that anybody doubted that she would be arriving in WWE? And here she is, and she looked good. I like her look. And let's see when she debuts. I don't think they said that she debuted. Last week they had a little vignette and showed her signing her name on the dotted line, and now she's signed to WWE, so let's see what happens. Now, Mila Smith takes on my girl Aoife Valkyrie, and it's been, I think they said 2 months since she lost to Meiko. Is it 2 months? That's quite a long time for her to be gone, But she comes in, and despite Schmidt's wrestling background, Valkyrie hits that leg drop to the back of her neck off of the second turnbuckle. Or actually off the top turnbuckle, actually. She did that, and she gets the pinfall, and all the while, the fashionista Jenny looks on. So they got some unfinished business. She even looked at, she stands up on the top turnbuckle, looks at Jenny, and then she does her move. And Jenny's just like that that typical look of her, that frown, that disdain, like she's just looking at her like kind of like this, I'm like going, it's on now, because I like both of them, and I think it'll be a great match. So let's see what happens with that. They didn't say anything about it being scheduled, so it's gonna probably come to a head next week. Maybe cause sometimes you don't announce some of the matches, so maybe it's one of the matches. Who knows? Maybe it's gonna be held for a bigger thing. Let's see. Let's just build on it. You know, build on the rivalry. Don't put them together yet in the ring. Let's build something on going on between them. One has a match, the other one will come in and try to interfere, build up the tension. That'd be good. Now, Trent Seven was doing he was being questioned, questions being thrown at him, and he was kind of like almost like a photo shoot at the same time. Kind of looked like that. Either that or he was just answering questions, and in comes Eddie Dennis talking crap, saying that hey, even though you lost all that weight, you lost that match to A-Kid for the Heritage Cup and all this stuff. He was just saying all these things, and Eddie Dennis was like, well, I mean, Trent Seven was like, you know what? What happened last time? You know, talking about he severely injured him, shattered his leg or something like that. But they were definitely taking shots at each other, and then that actually happened earlier in the day, and then it was announced that there's going to be a match next week between the two. That'll be a good hard-hitting match. You know, Symbiosis, right? This is Eddie Dennis's team with the other two yokels. I forget their names at the moment. You know, but Primate, right? And the other guy, I forget the other guy's name. I think that one guy, I forget. But they weren't around. I thought they were going to attack Trent Seven. They didn't. So that's that. And now we got a main event time, and then it's the Irish Ace Jordan Devlin versus A-Kid. And this match was very, very physical. You know, it was an amazing, athletic, and very physical match. And there's nothing that you can say more about Jordan Devlin. The dude is the guy that he's kind of like the measuring stick when it comes to like guys that if you want to keep up, and if you want to show that you belong, you know, doing that type of hard physical style that he likes to do, you have a run with Jordan Devlin in the ring. And he really, A-Kid really took it to him, and A-Kid and him really put on a great match. One of the best matches that I've seen thus far in either one of their career, last week, of course, was in his locker room. Because Jordan Devlin kind of put out a challenge, and then A-Kid was in his locker room, and then they made the match. And the match could have went either way, but we see a 6 submission hold by Jordan Devlin. And then A-Kid taps, and it's like it was a thing where he was on his belly, A-Kid, and then his right, bottom, right leg, his lower leg got bent in a way that bent forward in a way that backward in a way that a leg doesn't usually bend that far. You know what I mean? It bends to a point, right? And then he pushed it past his thigh, and he had no choice but to tap, and he kind of sold it like he was really injured, but he could really be injured. Because I don't know how he can fake that. I don't know how he can pretend that he got injured, but he didn't get injured. But who knows, But Jordan Devlin shows his dominance. I believe he's undefeated since coming back, since losing that title, the cruiserweight title. So I don't know who's going to be next. I mean, he may have put A-Kid on the shelf, maybe to sell it, and he'll come back and take on Devlin again. But that was a very, very good episode of NXT UK. I enjoyed it. I'm thinking seriously that they may be having a live audience because WWE announced that they're going to the UK, so that should give them the in, to put people in the put people there and they can watch them instead of seeing the reused, repurposed, what's that? Thunderground. It's already been told that those things are just used from SmackDown or Raw or something like that. So what's the point? You hear people, but I don't know if that's piped in noise or is it actually people scattered around out in the dark. You can hear people, but I'd rather see them because their crowd is great. I like the British crowd. I like their how they react. They're really, really great, and I would love to see them come back. But we'll see what happens. I mean, WWE really doesn't take those guys seriously. You see what happens with Piper Niven. She's Doudrop now, and they're acting like they don't know who she is. If that was going to happen to all of their superstars when they go to to the main roster. But anyway, that's my video. Like I said, I enjoyed NXT UK, and I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to next week, where we'll see Mark Andrews take on Lewis Howley, and if Mark Andrews wins, Subculture gets a tag team title shot. But that's my video, and for those of you who stopped by and checked it out, I appreciate it. And in closing, as always, take care.